This is Boxing Tickets NI. We're here at the final press conference for Crocker Donovan. Delighted to be joined by Jamie Conlan. Well, we may be expecting a bit more from that press conference today, I guess, obviously after Eubank Ben. And yesterday, everybody's probably thinking every press conference is going to be excellent. But what did you make of the final press conference today?
No, there's no crack on this one. I think both lads are ready. Talking was done, the first press conference. All the bitching and moaning and all the jesting, all the trying gearing each other up, but I think both lads know the job is at hand and there's no getting out of it. They're going to fight on Saturday, but regardless of what they say to each other.
Do you think it's maybe the pressure maybe starting to build up? I guess we're in the fight week now. When we done the initial press conference, it was all, I've got the power, I've got the power. There were mind games involved, whereas now we're 3 days out. Things start to get serious, so I think everybody knows now everything's done that they can do.
Aye. The hard work is done. It's just about performing now on the night. And I think both lads know what they're going to do. I think both lads were probably gearing up for the other to kick off, but the vibe was very relaxed from the offset, so it was good. You have a big fight feel.
When we initially spoke, I think when the fight was nearly agreed, it was sort of, we're thinking of the biggest fights. Obviously, your brother and TJ Dehaney obviously fought for the interim belt, probably during COVID sort of times. Like, where does this fight now rank in terms of the greatest all Irish fights?
It's up there. Listen, it's up there. The fact that we have the final eliminator for world title is a testament to that, because it's not just the best here in Ireland, it's the best, one of the best in the world. Whoever gets this is going to fight for a world title, is going to fight the big names around the world, and rightfully so, because whoever wins on Saturday has just beat a world level fighter, a world class fighter, so they will become a world class fighter themselves, and may the best man win. But it's got everything, man. It's got the history. They have no history together, but the history of individuals that they both carried. The talk of Crock in the gyms, the talk of Paddy in the gyms, the talk of the amateur pedigree, the talk of Crocker flattening people as an amateur, and then the progression as pros and what they were going through. Like Crocker, I think, had maybe 5 or 10. Was it 10? The first 10 fights were all knockouts.
I guess 7 his first 10.
First 7 the first 10 were all knockouts, and I remember at MDK we were trying to, like, how can we get him rounds at one stage, but he was unbelievable starting off, and Paddy's been brilliant as well, coming through fighting in our shows with Top Rank, and we're seeing the progression there, and he was constantly moving, and then obviously coming on the matchroom shows and progressing well and beating Ball and beating Ritson, and then coming through the Argentinian and stuff. So the lads have ticked every box till this moment in time. It is unfortunate to have to fight each other, because you would like to have 2 cracks at the cherry for another world champion here, but in the essence it's meant to be this way. It makes for the big night. I think the dance partners complement each other. Boxer versus fighter, aggression versus flashiness. We have a wee bit of everything. The no nonsense blue collar fighter in Lewis Crocker, people's fighter, against like the pretty boy Paddy Donovan, the flashy, wanting to look good, caring about the looks and the image. Croc doesn't give a fuck, and he just wants to win, but he's like the everyman, and it's unbelievable. They gel so well, and I expected the fight to gel also, because both of them are unbelievable fighters.
I guess it's not only the dangling card. Obviously, the winner fights for world title. It's probably the dangling card there as being Ireland's probably next superstar. The fact that Eddie said that the winner could potentially fight for a vacant title, could be in Belfast or it could be in Limerick. So there's that dangling on the line as well. Obviously, the fact that being the next Mick, being the next Carl, being the next Ryan Burnett, being the next superstar in Ireland, that pressure adds to it as well.
In their own rights, they know where they are and you know what they are. I don't think that adds to it. I think we have a superstar here in Belfast now in Lewis Crocker, because the arena is sold out. There was talk that it wouldn't sell out. There was talk that it was going to be 4, 6 and stuff like that. But we sold the arena out, and then some. This is going to be. It's one of the most sought after fights and anticipated fights that we've had in a long time. You ask 10 people, you'll get 10 different answers on how this fight goes. Everyone has their own opinion. Everyone has their own story on what they've seen in the build up of this, but also in the build up to this moment. So I think we do have a superstar here in Belfast. I think we have a superstar that The UK is lacking. There's not much big shows that are being sold out and getting carried by one man, but Belfast is.
I know that you manage, obviously, Lewis, but like I've tried to rake in my head and I've come up with so many different equations on how the fight goes. Like, how do you see the sort of fight? Do you see it being like, Paddy maybe winning the first couple of rounds and Lewis having to work his way in? How do you sort of envisage the fight going?
Listen, I think that the fight, it could be a high-level chess match between two world-class boxers, or it could be a 3-round firefight. Depending on what happens in the moments to the ring, it depends on how the bell goes, and everyone kind of meet in the middle. This could be over in 3, or it could be a long, drawn-out fight, and both of them kind of picking their shots and working for their angles, and not exactly. It goes a lot of different ways. I do envision the way that it goes, and I'll just kind of keep that one to myself.
You're keeping one to yourself. You blink me and sit in the fence. Do you think the atmosphere, I guess...
Definitely not sitting in the fence. I think
Crocker
knocks him out cold.
But you're just not giving away how the method and obviously when it'll happen.
Yeah, 100%, yeah.
Do you think the atmosphere, I guess, Lewis has had that experience of headlining cards before. He fought Tyrone McKenna at a Belfast derby. Do you think that experience plays a lot into Lewis? Maybe Paddy might freeze under the big lights. We know he's always been that showman. But do you think that obviously coming out, and he's probably going to get booed coming out to the arena on Saturday, do you think he's maybe envisaged that he might be coming out to Belfast getting booed?
I don't know. I think from the last press conference he thinks it's a 50-50 in terms of the people coming in to watch the fight. But it will be something unique to him. He's never been this high up on a card. He's never been a main event before. Crocker's main evented 3 times now, or twice in one real main event when he fought Conor Walker in a hostile Birmingham when he was the away fighter. Crocker's ticked in boxes. He's come out, run the wood to the booze, come out to the home section of fans. He's also come out to a Belfast derby where it was a lot in the favour of Tyrone McKenna. Tyrone McKenna sold a shitload of tickets, and Croc then had to make a big statement. He also knows when he's been in them moments, when in the build-up, when it's been talking and smack talking and tensions high and temperature high, Harry's been able to deal with it and what mistakes he's made in them fights now to this moment. So it's all new to Paddy, but also Paddy has got a real good head in his corner in Andy Lee and his father as well, and they'll be telling him to be cool, don't, as again today, didn't wind up things, kept everything nice and cool and cordial, and making sure there was no real tempers being flared. Well, that's day on Friday. There's a lot of different things, a lot of different factors until that ring, a lot of different factors outside of factors that have a factor inside the ring, but ultimately they're both high level fighters, elite level fighters, and it'll just be who turns up right on the night.
Unfortunately, it's not just one fighter you have on the card. Obviously, you have Paddy, obviously in a really big fight. You've obviously Kurt Walker, obviously who's had a nightmare probably year. The fact of having back-to-back fights sort of cancelled. Sort of they think when he won the belt in the Ulster Hall last March that he would not fight again until now. You have a really busy night for Conlan Sport.
Yeah, no, it is, and we're working with matchroom on the show. We wanted as much as possible in, and we pitched all the different fights that kind of worked well on the card, and to their credit, they gave us a lot of leeway because we have been working together for the last 2 Belfast shows they came here. So yeah, but Paddy against Craig Richards is a real tough fight for Paddy. He comes in as the underdog. When we talk about blue collar fighters and real working class heroes, Paddy McCrory comes always top of my list because he is the man's man. He's the everyman. He's the man that goes and picks up the kids from school. He's the man that does a school run but then goes to work. He is the man who does his training and goes to work. He is kind of the prototypical family man, but also grinding to become world champion himself. And this fight is going to get him back in the mix. Craig Richards has a lot to prove also. Both of them have a lot to prove because they have failed at the top. Berlanga fight, Paddy thought he could have done more, and I truly believe he could have done more. He didn't have the right. He hasn't had the right kind of camp. He's been doing bits and pieces, but not really giving it the full welly where he's did at this camp. I thought he should have always been a full-time athlete, but he's been part-time athlete for the past, and he's reached the top. He's fought Archie Berlanga as a part-time athlete, which is insane, man. If this man would have give more to the craft, what we have seen with him, but he's enjoyed the journey and wanted to keep both. This fight is a massive fight. Craig Richards is coming with his wee chip on his shoulder after looking not great against Willie Hutchinson. So he has a lot to prove. But I think what we have seen the last few fights of Paddy has not been the true. It hasn't been the true Paddy. There's always been something going on. He should never have fought Steve Woodall. I wish he kind of was a bit more honest until he got out of the ring, and like we got to the change room and he told me this. What the fuck did we do to fight? But that's just him. He thought he owed it to me that we done the show in the Falls Park, but he also wanted the headline in the Falls Park and things like that. And then the last 2 or 3 different fights, he's just no sparring and stuff. But this one, he's got the training here with Dee and Dan, and he's getting what he needs here on a technical level. Then went off and fully grafted in London, just grinded every day. And Kurt Walker was telling me that he felt sorry for Paddy because he was just getting circuits and getting grinded and getting everything. But that's what he went for. He went for a real condition part of the camp, and then was getting his technical work when he came back. And then Kurt, as you said, was a tough year last year. I thought we had really started the year right. 2 great fights, coming out fighting in January, last minute fight in January, and then getting a real good sturdy fight with James Beach. I'm thinking, right, here we go, kick on from here. And then just unfortunates. One on the fucking day, on the weigh-in day, and you just go to yourself, like, you couldn't have asked for worse luck. And Kurt has had to drag himself from the depths to kind of say, I really want to go with this. And this is his year. He needs to make a big statement. And to make a big statement, he needs to beat someone like Leon Woodstock, because Leon Woodstock is no mug. He's lost the Anto, of course, but he doesn't come laying down. He's coming to win. He's coming full of confidence. He's given enough time to prepare for Kurt Walker as much as Kurt has had to prepare for Leon Woodstock. And he likes moving. He thinks he's going to be the aggressor. He's going to be the strong man in there, and the Kurt is not going to be on the same level. But I truly believe Sunday morning we're going to be talking about Kurt Walker in big fights in the 126-pound division.
Kurt seemed to have a different look about him today. I'm not sure, maybe it was just I looked at it, but it looked as if he had a bit of, in the head, it looked as if he had a bit of anger. Maybe that's the frustration, obviously, of the last 12 months, but just seemed to give a different look today. Maybe it's just the fact that Leon Woodstock was not sort of given any ground, but I guess, you keep someone out of the ring and the fight falls through, it wakes up a demon in them.
Yeah, no, it definitely does, but also he needs it. He knows this is his opportunity, this is his fight. Regardless if he had 2 or 3 fights before it in the build-up, this fight is the fight that can really propel him on to the next level. This is the gatekeeper-esque fight that's really needed to knock off before going on to the next big stage.
What do you reckon? There's other 50-50 fights in the card. Obviously, Tommy and Stevie Ward's a fight I've talked about for a few years, and are dream matchups for the year ahead. Shauna O'Keefe, obviously, Shauna Browne, obviously, she's known fighting an eliminator. Gerard and Rudy running the back again as well. Is this probably one of the better cards? I'm trying to think of when was the last big matchroom card. I should probably come back to the Frampton days. Where does this sort of card rank in terms of, because of really good 50-50 fights?
It's a card you need to be here from the very first bell. Shauna Browne is as talented as they come in the female division. Again, when we talk about stories and sparring stuff, you don't hear the stories what you hear about Shauna putting girls down and really giving it to a lot of world-class fighters. So moving her quick is the right decision because she's got the talent, and getting her on the card was a big coup. So Shauna opening her whenever she's going to be on the early part of the card, and then Rudy and Gerard is just, it's fun no matter where the fuck it is. These 2 guys I think will be a match made in heaven for years to come. Rudy's impressed me massively. Coming from the first fight and coming from him before that, he's always took the risks. Both of them have always took the risk, but Rudy's always kind of just went, yeah, okay, and took the risk, and he's improving every time. I thought Gerard, when he went down with Andy and Pete and stuff, I seen a different level to him when we put him on the Ulster Hall show, and it's got all the, you just don't really know again with that one, who's learned more from the first fight. They love to hate each other as well, so they are a great marriage, a great match made in heaven. And then, as you said about Tommy and Stevie, I think they've floated the idea themselves over the years, and it's finally here. Maybe a year or two too late, but it's here nonetheless. And again, the best man win, and it's going to be a tough road for the other guy. So it's a real make or break fight for both of them, and unfortunate because both of them are 2 great guys, and it's hard to see one lose because you want, when they fight, you cheer for them regardless, and it's a tough one. It's going to be a tough one.
Speaking obviously of all the tough fights, obviously you've two fighters obviously together, obviously you've matched next week and obviously at Harlem and Tyrone. Like anybody I've sort of spoke to, they don't want to give answers because they both love each guy. It's like you just want it to be a good fight, don't you? Like I think Tyrone said that it's probably coming too early for Harlem. Harlem probably wants that test to see if he's ready for the next level. Like that's a cracker of a fight in Brighton next week.
It's the perfect fight for both lads. Perfect fight. Tyrone's name recognition for Harlem and how he's regarded in the boxing circuit is what Harlem needs. Harlem's name recognition on the commercial level is what Tyrone needs. So it's the perfect fight. But I went and seen Harlem the other day sparring with the Romanian guy who's with top tier, who's highly regarded around the welterweight division, and Harlem Eubank is, it was a real coming out performance, I thought, in sparring, really taking a back pat. Very, very good. And Tyrone, again, is looking unbelievable in Germany. That last fight was probably the best Tyrone against Dylan, being in the away corners, but we've seen the best for him. So it's a fantastic fight. It's a fight that you don't want to make, but when you look at it from strictly business point of view, it's the right fight for both lads, and a massive night in Brighton. Again, when you're talking about ticket sales, justifying what it is, both. Like that fight has trumped what Harlem had done previous against Timo Schwarzkopf, and an opportunity on Channel 5 on mainstream TV. Fantastic.
It's crazy to think that Channel 5 is now it's going to be the only terrestrial boxing channel now. Like everything else has all went to DAZN. Like and I think from what Tyrone was telling me, I think Harlem's last fight done like 1.2 million views. So it's going to be crazy numbers again.
Harlem Eubank is the most watched fighter in the UK. His fights on the last two fights have been insane. I think. For the last 2 years running, his fight has been the most watched fight in the UK.
It's crazy, isn't it? They think that
the power of terrestrial TV, man. Like you just get anyone tuning in and picking up, and Harlem's became a real name with Channel 5, and it carries a bit of weight, but he's becoming his own man as well as carrying the Eubank name. He's becoming his own man. He's always wanted to do it that way, and it's a massive opportunity for both lads to really go out there and cement themselves in the stratosphere outside of boxing.
Well, listen, Jamie, it's obviously good to get a catch up with you. Obviously, I think like yourself, we just can't wait this Saturday night, but I'm sure we'll obviously hopefully catch up with you afterwards.
Yes, Morty, 100%, mate.
Cheers, Jamie. Thank you.